Okay. Okay. Hi, guys. We're group one. We're covering chapter 10. Our question for this chapter was examine a teaching contract and determine the specific reasons for dismissal as stated in the teaching contract. Discuss each cause for dismissal and give an example of each. Also, contrast and compare terminating teacher based upon using a district's reduction in force policy and one of the reasons for dismissal as stated in the contract.
Okay, so we just pulled up a general teaching contract just to kind of go through the different parts of what it would look like. So you have your employer at the top, and then the teacher is getting the contract, the position that they're going to have for the upcoming school year, and then when your contract actually begins. And this can be super important, your signing date, because when you go back and forth with another teacher, one of you could get displaced over the other based on when your actual start day is. So the start date is super important in this part of the contract. And then your salary and your payment when you're actually going to get that, and then some of your benefits. The next part of the contract is all your duties and responsibilities. So, what is your job actually look like from day to day basis? What do you need to do for student progress, student reports, grades, meetings, or trainings that you need to go to? All the requirements that you're actually going to have when you are in that position. And then your hours go along with your contract. The next part could be the professional conduct, what you need to do as a professional, ethical manner, appropriate relationships with colleagues, parents, staff, students, families, and then also that you avoid any conflicts of interest that might pop up. Then you will have an evaluation system based on your district, whether you're evaluated every 3 years, or if you're a new teacher, you'd have to be evaluated your first 2 years of teaching. That's probably based more on district requirements. Then your discipline or dismissal. And so this is when it gets into if you are not abiding by these different things, then you could be terminated from this position. So they're talking about incompetence of negligence, insubordination that we talked about in our chapter, unprofessional conduct with your behavior and making sure it's ethical, the misconduct, violation of policies, if absentees, if you are gone a lot, sick a lot, absent, that could also play a big role in your contract. Substance abuse, criminal activity, and these could all terminate your contract very quickly. So making sure you are aware of all of these when you actually sign that line at the very bottoms.
So then we get into resignation. So the teacher agrees to a assigned or a specific amount of days that they have to declare that they're resigning. That's probably set by the school and or the district. Then we get into termination without cause. So it says either party may terminate with this agreement without cause by providing blank amount of days written in notice. So again, they have to have a specific set amount of days that they have to abide by when it comes to terminating a teacher without cause. Then, like any other contract that you might see, there might be a confidentiality part. So the teachers must keep confidentiality of student records, staff information, any sensitive institutional data. So if teachers were to either not follow like a mandated reporting law or they're sharing student information, they're essentially breaking that part of the contract. Then the governing law, they have to have their teacher's license through the state in which they're trying to teach. Then pretty much at the bottom, the entire agreement simply stating that you read through the contract and that you understand every single part of it and that you are willing to abide by all the rules and conducts of the school and or the district that you are in.
Yeah, so with our last minute. We'll talk really quickly kind of about what these grounds for discipline or dismissal. So incompetence or negligence, failure to perform teaching duties effectively or responsibly, insubordination, refusal to follow reasonable directions from administration, unprofessional conduct, behavior that violates ethical or professional standards, misconduct, including but not limited to dishonesty, harassment, discrimination, or inappropriate relationship with students, violation of policies, failure to comply with school rules, regulations, or legal requirements, chronic absentee or tardiness, so if you're just not showing up without any justification, substance abuse, use of drugs, alcohol, anything else that you shouldn't be doing and it's interfering with your job performance, criminal activity, conviction of a crime that impacts the ability to perform duties, breach of contract, so if you fail to fulfill the agreements that you signed above in regard to your responsibilities and what people are expecting of you,